We'll start. All right. And we'll just give it just one more minute before we begin. We're waiting on one of our speakers, but we do have a really full presentation for you all today. While you're waiting, feel free to put your name, title, and organization in the chat so we know what you're, where you're calling in from. All right, Ruben, nice to have you. We'll go ahead and get started. Just a quick overview today. This training is Pathways to Middle Skilled Jobs, and my name is Jessica Gry. I'm the Data and Career Awareness Project Coordinator. I'm going to start admitting folks into the room as we get started. Leslie Puckett, the Director of Research and Career Awareness, will be on the call as well, and she'll be assisting me with the chat box. But if I don't get to your question right away, I'll definitely address it as we go along. I'm joined with some very special guests from Skillpoint Alliance, Austin Community College, and ManPower. And we'll go ahead and just jump right into the agenda. Feel free as we do our introductions to introduce yourself, your organization, and your job title. And we do have some discussion questions for you all as we get started. So hopefully we can keep this engaging. So quick overview of the agenda. We're going to share some really cool training opportunities for you and your clients through our Rework Now program. We're going to give a recap of our Workforce Solutions funded training scholarships. If you're not familiar with that, it's an excellent resource for customers you may work with that are interested in training in these pathways to middle skill jobs. And then we have speakers from Austin Community College, Skillpoint Alliance, and ManPower. Weston will go first with Skillpoint Alliance, and he'll give an overview of the Certified Production Technician training, and then we'll pass it over to Ruben Ramirez, and then we'll pass it over to H.L. Mahan with ManPower. If y'all can go ahead and do me a favor and turn your audio off and just select mute, that would be really helpful as we go along. All right, if you're not familiar with Workforce Solutions, many people often confuse us with Texas Workforce Commission. However, Workforce Solutions is a network comprised of the Texas Workforce Commission. We are 28 boards across the state of Texas, and our board is the Travis County Board, which is right in the center of Texas at number 14. And we serve Travis County businesses, residents, job seekers, and even offer subsidized childcare for parents that are seeking employment and maybe transitioning on some sort of career pathway. So we're really happy to work with all our Travis County partners. We do serve occasionally residents outside of Travis County, depending on their situation. So if you ever have a client that may be on the outskirts of Travis County, feel free to still refer them over to us, and we can direct them to our sister board, which is Rural Capital Area, and they serve all of the counties outside of Travis County. So these number 15 surrounding there. All right, so let's get into some statistics as to why we even have this Pathways to Middle Skilled Jobs training. So we know that only about 1 out of 4 people born into poverty in the US ever get out, complete a public community college degree close to on time, or accumulates even $500 in net assets. This is from the National Center for Education Statistics. We know that post-secondary training does offer a way out of poverty for our clients. So whether it is a post-secondary credential, a 2-year certificate, a 1-year certificate, Workforce Solutions, and all our partners on this call are really dedicated to working with customers and bringing awareness to middle skill opportunities that offer high wages that really help lift our customers out of poverty. Another statistic here is that 9 out of 10 people who live in poverty enroll in and complete a college degree will not live in poverty for the rest of their lifetime. And this is from the founding CEO of the National College Attainment Network. So, I previously worked with Opportunity Youth at American Youth Works, ages 16 to 24, and many of them have this concept that college is a 4-year degree, and it's either the 4-year degree or you're never going to college. And part of our job while I was working there and what I do now is really bringing awareness to these other middle skill pathways that really do offer a post-secondary education that provide that high wage and expected high growth in the Austin area. One more statistic from E3 Alliance that we often share is that young adults without a certification, credential, or degree within 6 years of finishing high school have just a 12% chance of earning a living wage. Only a 12% chance. So that's why it's imperative that we provide them with opportunities like those on the call today to help them understand these other opportunities here in the Austin area. So when looking at middle skill jobs, what Workforce Solutions looks at is jobs that require more than a high school diploma or less than a 4-year degree. So this can be moderate on-the-job training, a credential, certificate, associate's degree. And we're really focusing on some primary sectors and industries here, just because of the expected growth in wages in our region. So those target industries for Workforce Solution are healthcare and social assistance, tech, skilled trades, and advanced manufacturing. And we know that these middle skill jobs in these industries lead to self-sufficiency for our customers. So that's why we have developed programs to really address those career needs, and then also address wraparound services to be successful in these career pathways. So during the pandemic, Workforce Solutions in partnership by the Travis County and City of Austin developed our Rework Now program, where we offered full scholarships for rapid, safe training programs for City of Austin, Travis County residents. These scholarships also offered stipends to attend career training, transportation assistance, and career guidance for customers who were affected by the pandemic, and even high school grads of 2020, I believe, to help them complete a training, whether it be a 4-week training to 12-week training. The idea was to really rapidly and safely bring them through a middle skill job training into a full-time job and career pathway. We do still have scholarships available. So if you would like to learn more about our Rework Now program, you can go to reworknow.org/Austin, and there's a full list of trainings available. However, I know we have some case managers and advisors on the call. Be sure you select the filter Rework Now so you can see the rework specific programs. We do have other programs that are not funded through Rework Now. However, and I'll share that here in a moment, Workforce Solutions does fund occupations through our targeted occupations list. And I have a slide about that. I've already shared most of this about Rework Now. In the chat, I can give you, or Leslie Puckett's on the line, she can give you the email address if you have any questions. It's going to be wfs.work@wfscapitalarea.com, or you can call 512-381-5160. That's a really good contact for your customers or students to have on hand if they're interested in some quick career training. This is pretty typical for Workforce Solutions and a lot of our partners. These are some examples of expenses that we can help pay for. So tuition and fees completely covered most of the time, books, tools, uniform, tests, medical immunizations, and childcare and transportation. Now, Workforce Solutions does have an eligibility process. So if, let's say, the training is end of September, you would have wanted that client to have started beginning of September, end of August, to apply for that training and to go through the eligibility process. We do have a referral form, which I'll share this link with you all after this presentation. And this is something that you can fill out with the customer you're working with to help them be referred to one of our training providers. It is a facilitated process, so I highly recommend sitting down, talking about what training they may be interested in, career pathway your customer may be interested in, and then go ahead and start collecting their eligibility documentation. So that would be, you know, their driver's license, birth certificate, income, if they're receiving SNAP or TANF, those sort of documentation. There is a full list of that on the referral form, so feel free to review it and work with your client on collecting that documentation. And then also, as mentioned, outside of Rework Now, Workforce Solutions has historically paid for scholarships on our targeted occupations list. This list has 90% of occupations that fall within those targeted industries I mentioned, but we also have a couple others that are within professional and business services. So that's going to be like your administrative assistants, accountants, bookkeepers. And through that list, if you're working with a customer and they're like, you know what, I'm previously in the food industry, I'm really interested in getting into manufacturing. You can check out our occupations list and talk to that client about the sort of occupations that are in manufacturing. And I'll give you an example. So this here is our machinist occupation. We've identified this as a high growth, high wage occupation in the Austin area. And on our website, if you select machinist, you'll find this career ladder. And so what this has is wages in capital area. Texas Workforce Commission releases wages on every 2 years. So this is where you're going to have 2019 hourly wages compared to Texas and the US. It's also going to have the expected growth, the type of work a machinist does and where they work. And on the back, you're going to see a career ladder. So I used this when I was a case manager as a tool to sit down with a young person to talk about what a career pathway looks like. It's not just a job, it's an opportunity to grow and to have a career trajectory. So for instance, this one gives an example of someone maybe starting off as a repair worker, installation and maintenance, earning an entry level of $14.98. And then with time, they can become a maintenance worker for machineries, to a machinist earning a higher wage, to an industrial machinery mechanic. We also have the typical education and experience listed on here. And you can see here, most of these are just on the job training. Some companies do provide, you know, in-house certifications, industry recognized credentials. That's also something really good to talk to your clients about, especially when they're looking for a really good company to work for. It's like, do they have progressive on-the-job training, and or do they provide maybe tuition assistance to help the person grow in their career? All right, so I'm going to pause for 1 second. And in the chat box, if you can go ahead and share, how do you currently connect your clients to career training or middle skilled jobs? I want this to be an opportunity for us to glean off of your best practices. Do you use the career profiles at Workforce Solutions? Do you help connect them to career case managers? Do you have conversations with your clients about these middle skilled jobs? But really, it's an opportunity for you to share your best practice with the rest of us. And feel free, our presenters, if y'all have any tips and tricks to share as well, feel free to do so. And we'll put that in the chat box just because we have a full presentation today. I'm going to take a moment to check the chat as well. All right, and do we have any volunteers that would like to take themselves off mute and maybe answer this aloud to the rest of the group? All right, no pressure. Feel free to enter it in the chat. And I'll just answer, as I mentioned earlier, when I worked with Opportunity Youth at American Youth Works, I would not believe how many career pathways they were not aware of. So I worked really closely with Leslie's team and bringing out speakers like our career and education outreach specialists to come do presentations for young adults that were exploring career pathways. I would incorporate fun games like Jeopardy! Or like Family Feud sort of games where we talked about different career pathways. And one tool that really came in handy was career profiles. And although it's a piece of paper, it really helps them kind of break down wages because we know money talks. So I use that a lot when working with clients. And then we would go into the training piece, like, okay, what training providers are available in the Austin area? And what I really like now about this Rework Now portal is it lists exhaustively the training providers in our area, such as Skillpoint Alliance and ACC. So this training today is going to go over two of our training providers that train for pathways in manufacturing. Manufacturing is a growing industry. We have some LMI actually at the end with ManPower that they've compiled, which I'm really excited for y'all to share, that really goes over the growth here in the Austin area for manufacturing jobs. So I have one more slide before I pass it over to Weston at Skillpoint Alliance. This is just a testimony of one of our work clients. So work stands for Workforce Education Readiness Continuum. And that's a Travis County contract that we work with Travis County on to help clients earn credentials and then also full-time job placement. So Victoria says, at first I thought Workforce Solutions was only for people that were seeking job opportunities. Once I learned more about all the various programs that are offered, I was impressed by the way Workforce Solutions impacts the community so positively. So Victoria was able to work with us not only on finding a job, but in career training, subsidized childcare, and have a successful experience with us. All right, so I'm probably a little bit over time, but that's okay. I'm going to pass it over to Weston with Skillpoint Alliance.
Good morning, everybody. Just want to thank Jessica and the team there for inviting us to be a part of this presentation, and happy to see so many folks on the call to learn about different ways that we can help individuals in the Austin area access career pathways. So that is really the mission of what Skillpoint Alliance does. Our entire model, our entire mission is focused on helping individuals who are either in low income or have some other barrier to sustainable employment. We help them get trained in a really quick way. Our model is rapid training. We offer that training for free, and then we connect them to jobs. And those jobs typically are entry-level jobs that require at least a little bit of background or skill or a certification or a license. And then the whole idea is that that is where the individual starts, and then they have a very clear career path ahead of them, which will allow them to earn that living wage. Some of those statistics that Jessica went over are pretty sobering when you think about it. An individual who is in poverty, if they don't obtain some type of certificate or degree or license within the first few years after graduating high school, it's very unlikely that they ever will get to that point. And so we, as a nonprofit in the Austin area, that is our mission, is to help more and more of those individuals do that. So first, I'll tell you a little bit about Skillpoint and just our history and kind of what we focus on. And then we'll go into our certified production tech training, which is focused on the advanced manufacturing industry. The whole idea is to get folks into that career pathway because we know it's a growing industry. So as I mentioned, Skillpoint Alliance, our entire mission is about fast, free training for in-demand jobs. So our programming is kind of straightforward in a nutshell. We work with students, individuals who are coming from a low income background. And that can be literally anyone, from someone who just graduated high school all the way to someone who's maybe later in life but needs a change, maybe going through a layoff, maybe being coming back into community after spending some time incarcerated. Really anyone who has a need, has a barrier, whether it's income or background, we will work with them to provide them the fast free training. And our programs are going to be always focused on in-demand jobs. That's kind of our mission, is to fill the needs of local employers. There's no really point in training someone for a job that doesn't exist in the area. So we're only going to focus on training for jobs that have a considerable amount of growth expected. You can click. Yeah, there you go. So as I mentioned, we are a nonprofit. We were established in 1994 here in Austin, basically as a public-private partnership. When the Austin Bergstrom International Airport was being built, there was a realization in the community that there weren't enough skilled tradespeople, specifically electricians, in the Austin area to complete the work. And so Skillpoint Alliance was formed at that point to help meet that need. And so we've been doing it ever since. We've been especially focused on the electrical industry for 25 years, plumbing and HVAC, skilled trades, career pathways for decades. And our newest program, which I mentioned, is the Certified Production Tech, which is a manufacturing program, which we've been running now for just a little over a year. Still kind of, learning the best way to do it and connecting to employers and things like that. But we've been really excited to see how it's grown, and really excited to see the potential that it has to help individuals get into really rewarding careers. So all of our training is quick. That is the point of it, is full-time training. And part of the reason we do that, and you'll see that here in the job readiness column there, the reason that we do full-time training is that part of our model, part of our focus is on job readiness. So in speaking with employers and others in industry, we ask, what is the biggest challenge you have when you're looking for new employees? And across the board, regardless of industry, what we hear is that finding individuals who are going to show up on time every day is a challenge. It's not always a challenge to find people to apply for the jobs or even to find people to hire. It's a challenge to keep them. It's a challenge to really know when you hire someone, whether or not they're going to stay, whether or not they're going to keep showing up. And so that is kind of why we built our programs the way we did. And the model that we use is full-time training, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, between 4 weeks, our shortest classes, up to about 6 weeks, our longest classes. And so it is an investment from our students in their time. Obviously, that is a commitment for a student to make, to show up every day for a number of weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. But in exchange, we offer them free training, 100% free, no cost, paid for by grant funding that we're able to seek and obtain from local governments and foundations. And so students pay nothing out of pocket, so they get the free training. They also get free licensing. So we're depending on which program they're applying for, there are different certifications or licenses that we will then pay for and allow them to take exams to receive certifications, and we cover all the costs. We also provide things like transportation assistance with bus passes. We connect students to places like Workforce Solutions and the Rework Now Program and the Work Program and WIOA. We connect individuals to community resources for childcare and other things like that. So the idea is that when a student comes to us, they pay for nothing. And what they do is they invest their time, and they give their all in terms of learning the skills and showing up and working on, bettering themselves professionally. And then we, in exchange, teach them, how to be a good employee, but also some really valuable hands-on skills that are going to allow them to first get a job, but then also succeed quickly in that job. Entry-level jobs can be sometimes seen as a dead-end job, or a job with not a lot of upward mobility, but we're not interested in that. We want to train individuals to go into entry-level jobs that have a very clear next step in the career pathway. And what we do is we help them prepare them to take that next step. So we've given them a foundation of hands-on skills and knowledge about the industry, so that when they do take that job, they can typically come in at a little bit of higher wage and then move up quicker, so that they can reach those living wages and that kind of self-sustaining career that's going to help support them and their family in the future. That's kind of that's our model. And so we'll talk now more about our advanced manufacturing program, which is kind of the focus of today's presentation. As we mentioned, and as you all probably know, the manufacturing industry in Austin is growing. There are more jobs available than there are people to fill them currently. And so employers they do have a high need and a high demand for individuals who want to start in a manufacturing career. And so the CPT, which is the Certified Production Technician certification, is kind of a nationally recognized certification offered by MSSC, which is Manufacturing Skills and Standards Council, which basically certifies to an employer that the individual has a really good, strong knowledge of the basic principles of manufacturing when it comes to efficiency, safety, production and measuring, and all the different things that go into efficiently running and being part of a manufacturing plant or manufacturing operations. So this gives individuals who receive the certification really that ability to market themselves, to be in demand, to find a pathway, oftentimes skipping the very, very front line and moving into kind of the technician role. And so what we do in our class is, there is a fair amount of, just textbook kind of what's online, an online curriculum where it's just studying about safety. It's studying about different processes, different types of manufacturing, whether that's additive manufacturing, which is 3D printing and things of that nature, injection molding. They learn about machining and CNC machines, which is different ways to, take a piece of metal or a piece of plastic or a piece of wood and create something, a part or a piece for a machine out of that by using computer controlled machines. They learn how to solder, which is an in-demand skill. They learn how to use, micrometers, nanometers, multimeters, ways to test and measure. They also get to, work hands-on with, 3D printers, as I mentioned. And these things are, in our classroom. Students can put their hands on it and really get a cool experience with, working with the actual technologies and actual applications that they'll be exposed to in the workforce. That we also have a really cool new addition to our training where we have virtual reality headsets with a training module installed for manufacturing. And so a student can, kind of get a little bit of an inside look at what it's like to work in a manufacturing plant. A lot of the employers and a lot of the jobs that are available right now in Austin are closed in terms of they don't allow visitors. So we can't take our students on field trips to some of the larger manufacturing, Samsung, Applied Materials, NXP. Their manufacturing floors, their production facilities are not open to the public. So how do you give a student that ability to see what it's going to be like when they go to work? Well, we figured out maybe we'll do a virtual reality. And so that's something new that we've added that seems to be really effective. And then something I want to mention about that's kind of unique to Skillpoint and the way we do our training is that every class, regardless if it's manufacturing or one of our other skilled trades classes, every class engages directly with employers. That is the bedrock foundation of our model. And what that entails is manufacturing representatives visit every class. So we have individuals from Samsung come to class and speak to students. We have individuals from Applied, NXP, different staffing agencies, and then a lot of smaller companies like Athena Manufacturing, Senox, who will visit class. And then even more exciting, as we're kind of opening back up and trying to do things a little bit more in person, is some of the smaller companies will actually schedule field trips. And so just in this class alone, we have a current class going that graduates in a couple of weeks. They'll actually end up taking 4 field trips during this class. They visited Senox already, and Senox is a company that makes rain gutters for residential application. They'll also be visiting Athena Manufacturing, which is what is considered a job shop. They have all kinds of different machinery and different processes that they can run for different customers and make all kinds of different materials. So we'll be visiting Athena this week. And then we're also visiting a company called Carlane and another company called Forma Space. And so that is something that's really unique and exciting for our students, is that they get to really get not only the hands-on skills, the textbook, the certification, they get to meet employers, and then they get to go visit actual manufacturing operations and really see what it's going to be like for them when they enter the workforce. And so again, we are focused on that hands-on training in a classroom, but we're also all about job readiness. And we want to make sure that students know what they're getting into before they take that job, before they enter that career. And so by giving them those opportunities to, visit different employers and talk to different employers, we allow them to get ready for their career and also make a good choice for them in terms of what's a good fit for them, what kind of wage are they looking for, et cetera. What type of company culture, what type of, even what type of environment are they going to be working in? Is it going to be a clean room environment? Is it going to be ambient air or air conditioned? Are they going to be on their feet? Are they going to be sitting? Is it going to be a small business, a multinational global company? They can make those decisions, and they can make those decisions with the information to allow them to make an informed decision on where they want to go to work. Students also receive their OSHA 10 training, which is safety training that we provide for free. And again, the certification is something that they have to earn. They do not get the CPT certification just by showing up to class. They have to show up to class, they have to study the material, they have to do homework, and then they have to take assessments at the end of each module. There are 4 modules in the CPT certification, and they have to take a test in each one. And it's not easy. There are times where students do have to retest. We pay for all the testing fees and allow them to retest and do some tutoring and all that. But it is quite a bit of challenging work for our students, but it's one that's rewarding because it leads to a career pathway into an industry that is booming in Austin, and that is what we are all about. So we do have 2 more classes this year for our apprenticeship. Let me go back one. There we go. Thanks, Jessica. We've got 2 more classes this year for the CPT. We've got one starting on October 4th, and this is a 6-week class, so then it would run through November 12th. And then we've got our final class of the year starting on November 29th, right after Thanksgiving. And that one is going to go actually into January because we will be taking a break in the middle for the holidays. And so again, if you have anyone you're working with who's interested in this training and who might qualify based on income or having some barriers to employment, please send them our way. We'd love to get them into the October 4th class, or if that's too soon, then the November 29th class. We're always recruiting or always enrolling for all of our classes. And just real quickly, I will mention kind of some of the other classes that we offer, just in case you have individuals you're working with that are interested in the skilled trades rather than manufacturing. These are also middle skilled jobs, but it's not the focus of this call. So I'm not going to go into a lot of depth. Just to let you know that we do have upcoming classes in both electrical and plumbing. These are pre-apprentice classes, which means the whole idea, these are 4 weeks long, is to get somebody started in the job, but also with the job that's going to give them an apprenticeship opportunity so that they can keep learning and keep expanding their skills and keep growing their wages. So we do have 2 electrical classes coming up, September 27th and November 8th, and then 1 plumbing class this year, October 25th. And then finally, we have an HVAC class, which is now also including sheet metal. This is a longer class. It's about 5 or 6 weeks long. The reason this a little bit fuzzy is because we're still in negotiations on one of our grants in terms of what we need to include in that grant, in that class. So it could be as little as 5 weeks, might be a little bit longer, but we're figuring that out. The next class there won't be starting until probably late January. We have not solidified our 2022 program calendar yet. But again, if someone is interested, we would still love to hear from them so that we can talk to them, get them kind of started in the process. And we would love to hear, get your referrals there. Real quickly, yes, Regina Wiley, our admissions manager. She is the best person for your clients to talk to about upcoming class dates, ask questions, and kind of get started in that respect. Her contact info is there on the screen. Our application and enrollment process is pretty simple. The best way to start, if someone is interested, is to have them go to our website, www.skillpointalliance.org, and fill out an online application. Once that application is submitted, Ms. Wiley will reach out, have a conversation about their interest level, and then kind of schedule a couple of interviews and talk about the different documents that we're going to need to verify their eligibility. Again, because we are a nonprofit that offers free training, we do have to verify certain details about our clients, about our students, so that we can make sure that they're eligible for the grants that we have. It's a pretty straightforward process. And it's basically anyone who lives in Texas for some of our programs, especially, again, since we're focusing on the advanced manufacturing program, any current Texas resident is eligible for the CPT program. Because of the funding for that program, there is no income eligibility guideline. So literally anyone 18 years of age or older that is a US citizen with a legal right to work can be eligible for our CPT class and receive free training. So we just ask that you, again, refer folks over either to our website or to Ms. Wiley or to myself. I'll put my contact info in the chat. Also would love to hear if you have any questions, any comments, and I'll be here to answer those questions. You can also follow us on social media on any of the 4 platforms there. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Weston. That was a very thorough overview from Skillpoint Alliance. So we really appreciate it. They're a valued partner of ours. And so without further ado, we'll pass it over to another valued partner. We have Ruben Ramirez. He's coordinator with the CE Manufacturing Program at Austin Community College. And he has just a few slides for you all just to talk about their CPT program and Manufacturing Academy. So without further ado, Ruben, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Ruben Ramirez. I am the manufacturing coordinator at Austin Community College. And pretty much some of the, ACC, obviously we're a college and we have a lot of different programs. I am primarily heading the CPT program, the Certified Production Technician program. And it's like Weston said, I mean, in Austin, there is tons of jobs available right now with really great companies. Samsung, Applied Materials, now Tesla. And, recently ACC partnered up with Tesla. And so there's different pathways. Everybody's trying to get into Tesla, right? But not everybody has the background to get into Tesla. And they have a program called the Tesla Start program, which Tesla selects candidates. ACC, our instructors deliver the instruction and the curriculum. So it's a partnership that we've created. We're working really close with them. However, so for people who want to get into the Tesla Start program, you know, I always get that question. I want to get in. Well, you got to have some sort of background. Right now, they're being really selective. So one way to do it is to build your background, right? And one way to build your background is with ACC. And for people that have no experience, the CPT program is a perfect starting point. You know, it covers quality and maintenance, safety, and production. And it is, you know, it's 8 weeks long. It's 4 concepts. And so safety, production, quality, and maintenance, and you take an exam after each one. And when you're done, you get a certification. It's called the MSSC, and it is nationally recognized, right? And a lot of companies are looking for that certification. It's 8 weeks long, but it packs a punch. It can get you into a lot of different situations, and people are looking out for that. So for people who want to get into Tesla, this is if you can see the screen there, there's different ways to get into Tesla, right? I know people that are already in the START program and they have a robotics and automation background. So they were selected based on that type of experience, but not everybody has that experience. However, you can build that with ACC or even with Skillpoint. So if you look at that first line, you got certified production tech, 6 to 8 weeks, and that'll help you also get into Tesla. One thing to remember, though, is that Tesla is not built yet. The facility is still being constructed. So I'm hearing they're about a year, maybe a year and a half away from being fully, you know, running. So right now, they're hiring a very small group of people. They're doing small little things right now. I'm hearing it's going to start to pick up in January. But having a CPT background is definitely going to be a pathway into Tesla. Then we have our next the next step. It's called the Manufacturing Skills Award, and it's 3 classes. You got DC circuits, you got manufacturing processes, and then you got introduction to manufacturing. And then the next one, another popular one, is the level 1 certification. It's 12 college credits, and it puts you about halfway to your associate's degree. And for this, you can, you know, if you notice, you can apply for Tesla at all of these points, right? But one thing you want to do is you want to build your background. And the more that you build your background, the more that they're likely to pick you up and hire you. But we have lots of different programs on our website. You know, we have the Tesla Start Technician program. We have a Samsung Apprentice program. We have Applied Materials Apprentice program, and many others. ACC has partnered up with lots of manufacturing companies around the area. So we are really connected with them. And the last group that went through the CPT program, I mean, I was getting students that were saying, I got 6 offers. Who do I go to? And I'm like, well, that's a good problem to have. I go, but, you know, as you're interviewing with these companies, it's also important for you guys to interview them as well and ask about their hours and their pay and what you'll be doing. And, you know, it works both ways. But you know, ACC, the cool thing about ACC is that, you know, we also work with Workforce, and we also can get your program funded through Workforce, and about half of our students do. But that's one way to get funded, right? Another one is you could pay for it on your own if you'd like. And another one is we have scholarships. So there's lots of different scholarships. In October, we have a career scholars scholarship that is going to be, there's 40, what I was told, $5,000 scholarships for students, you know, for 40 students who want to get into advanced manufacturing. So there has been money allocated for these programs. Again, there's a high need in the area for these type of jobs. And, you know, when I started out, I remember, you know, I did fast food. I worked at KFC, and I look back now and I'm thinking, you know, it'd be awesome if I could had my start. You know, where would I be if I had a start at Samsung, or if I had a start at Tesla or Applied Materials? So it does matter, you know, and the cool thing is that, like I said, now education, I feel like there's a shift and it's changing. It used to be, well, you need the 4-year degree, you need a master's, but you know what? If you look at ACC and if you look at just educational institutions across, a lot of people are offering certifications now. A lot of people are offering training where they've condensed that. And at ACC, we call them fast track programs, but you can learn a lot of different skills and make really good money in a year, you know, getting a year certification, getting a 2-year certification. And there's tons of them at ACC. And I challenge you guys to to get on there, encourage you guys, get on there, explore what these programs are. The trades, I can't say enough about the trades. They're not really talked about in schools, but plumbers are some of the highest paying jobs. Electricians are some of the highest paying jobs. And it's funny because, I was a school teacher at AISD for many years, and we're always saying, go to college. And, but we rarely speak about the trades. And I can just tell you that people that go into the trades are doing really, really well. I just had my faucets replaced in my kitchen and my bathroom, and it was $150. And I'm like, it took 30 minutes, 40 minutes maybe. And I was like, wow, and there is a high demand for plumbing as well. So the cool thing about, the programs, the cool thing about living in Austin is that we have a great economy. There is a lot of, opportunities for people who want to work. And, it's up to you guys to figure out what you want to do. And if you want to try these things out, the cool thing is that you have options, right? Getting your CPT, you may have 5 or 6 job offers. You may want to work for someone. Maybe that doesn't work out. You could work for someone else. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity right now, and companies want they want a skilled workforce. So, what ACC does is, our instructors are engineers. They've been in the field, they've taught, they've worked at Samsung, they've worked at Applied. So they come with loads of experience. Same thing with Skillpoint. These are people that have done it, have seen it. So, they've been there, they've done that. So they can, our instruction is really good. So like I said, CPT, it's 2 courses. It lasts about 8 weeks long. We have 1 more class left. All our classes have been really well attended, and I would say 99.999% of our students have all gone on to get jobs. There's been some that didn't, but the reason is because maybe they chose a different career path or ended up moving or doing something totally different. But mostly everyone that's gone through our program has gotten a job. And it's pretty cool, because you get to go 8 weeks. After that, you're, workforce, I can't speak like how awesome they are, because they help us with the resumes, they help them with job interviewing skills, and they also help them connect. And we do the same thing too, but I can say that Workforce, it's a partnership that ACC has with Workforce, and they're really good at connecting us and connecting our students with with manufacturing companies, with employment opportunities, with, just lots of cool stuff out there. So for anyone out there looking for a job, maybe you haven't decided, there's a lot of students, I get a lot of students as well that just graduated and they know that they want a job now, but they don't really know what they want to do for the rest of their lives, right? And it takes time to even know that, and figure out what you want to do. But pretty much everyone knows I need a job. And I tell them, you know what, this is a great opportunity. Get a job here, get stable, start realizing what this industry is. You may want to grow in this industry. You may just want to have this job, and then you may want to study accounting, or you may want to do something totally different. But pretty much everyone needs a job, right? We all want to have our own place. We all want to have a car. We all want to have, be able to buy stuff. So these are great opportunities. Austin has one of the hottest job markets. The manufacturing industry here in Austin is amazing. I don't know if you guys have seen just the Tesla facility. The Samsung is going to expand. Applied Materials, if you come to the Applied Materials building here on 290, you see that, there's a huge expansion going on all over Austin. And, the semiconductor industry is not going anywhere. If you've read and kept in touch, like with media and stuff, you're seeing that there is a shortage of chips. There's manufacturers, there's car manufacturers, all kinds of industry that are needing microchips, so these jobs are going to be here. They're going to be here a long time. It's up to you guys to figure out what path you want to take. But for anyone that's unsure, sometimes you just have to take that next step and try something. And like I said, I believe the CPT program, it's not a big time investment. It's only 8 weeks long. And after that, you're guaranteed pretty much a job. And then you see what you want to do from there, right? You may want to say, you know what, I want to try to get a scholarship at ACC, and then I want to continue to get my associate's degree. That $5,000 that for 40 students, that's all been allocated just for manufacturing. So, and what I was told, if we don't get 40 students to apply, well, then that money goes to other departments, right? So right now there's just been a lot of money allocated, a lot of resources allocated, because there is a huge need in the area, in our backyard, on jobs. And like I said, these are great jobs. A lot of people kind of think that manufacturing, they have kind of this visual of maybe like a sweatshop kind of thing, where it's hot, you're in a warehouse, there's no AC, you're lifting boxes. It's not like that. It's very different now. It's a lot of robotics. I mean, these facilities are really nice. They have AC. I mean, they got nice cafeterias. I mean, there's lots of benefits with these companies. So they're really good opportunities for anyone that's looking for a job. And like I said, there's right now, they need people, and you guys have options. You can actually choose, hey, I want to go to this company, or I want to go to this company. Like I said, I had students who had like 6 job offers. So I think that's amazing. I think that speaks to our economy and to the need. And my name is Ruben Ramirez. If you have any questions about Tesla Start, if you have any questions about the CPT program or anything in manufacturing and engineering, definitely you can give me a phone call. I'm available from 8 to 5. You can email me and ask me anything. And if I don't know the question, I'll find it. But for the most part, we have a pretty cool little staff here at ACC, and we're doing some amazing things here. And I can tell you that this whole partnership with Tesla we're working really, really close with them, and it's just started, and it's going to bloom, and Tesla's going to change. All these companies here in Austin, I feel like they're really going to transform our city that we don't even know yet. I was told the other day that Elon Musk had applied for like an energy. He wants to sell energy here in Austin. So imagine that. Here's a guy who's building a plant here. He's trying to go to Mars. He's got electrical cars, and he's also wants to sell power. So it's just the beginning, and there's going to be amazing things happening. And it's really important. Plant yourself. I tell people all the time, position yourself now, because things are happening, and be some of the first people to get into this industry and build yourself from here up. But if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to give me a call and ask me about scholarship opportunities. Ask me about all our programs more extensively. I can give you more information. But thank you guys. And like I said, you guys are really in a good spot, and take advantage of these programs. Workforce is here. Skillpoint is here. There's lots of students that have already done it. And I could even connect you with some of those students. So you could ask, hey, where are you working at now? And what are you doing now? And I mean, it's just amazing that you can go through something in 8 weeks and then be able to land a pretty good job and have your foot in the door of these great companies. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you, Jessica. Weston, that was an awesome presentation. You really broke everything down. But yeah, for the most part, like I said, ACC's here, and we don't just do, I obviously represent the manufacturing program, but there's people here that can guide you in lots of different job pathways or career pathways that we have. This is just one, but it's one that's really hot right now, and it's getting a lot of buzz, and it's because of the companies that we partnered up with and the need. But that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Ruben. You make such a great hype man for the CPT program. I enjoy it so much, and I really hope more job seekers can connect with you about this opportunity. So thank you for giving that overview. I do want to say we have about 4 minutes until 10, where we'll take a 5-minute break, but I do know we have some ACC trainers and advisors on the call. I know Ruben is your colleague, so do y'all have any questions about this continuing education program that you'd like to ask Ruben today, especially because we have just a few minutes left before our break? Any questions about referrals, credits, scholarships? I know in the chat we can enter it. If you have any questions about scholarships with Workforce Solutions, we have an email address. It's careerladder@wfscapitalarea.com. That email actually goes directly to me and Leslie Puckett. And any referrals you have, I'll get that email and I can help the client with the process. I'll send them, who they need to contact, which would be our eligibility team. They have questions about the CPT program. I can even direct them to Ruben about some upcoming classes. So again, it's careerladder@wfscapitalarea.com. I'm gonna check the chat. Oh, yes, and I'll put it in the chat as well, Katie. Thank you. All right. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and take a moment to break. You'll have just 8 minutes. So we'll return at 10:05. Feel free to get some water, refill your coffee. We have an excellent presentation from ManPower after the break, and they actually will go over current opportunities and what they're doing here in this booming economy to help job seekers find career pathways. This is really good for those who are working with clients on next steps after training. So they'll help connect your customers to employment. So I'll see you all back at 10:05. Thank you. All right, we're at 10:04. Just go ahead and give it a few more seconds before we begin at 10:05. Welcome back, everyone. I forgot to share this earlier. Ruben was talking about our partnership with ACC Workforce Solutions, and one resource that you can share with students and graduates of your programs is the virtual career fairs that we have. We also have Workforce Wednesday webinars. I believe it's every second Wednesday of the month. And we actually invite employers to come speak about their open opportunities. We had a manufacturing jobs now event last month where we promoted manufacturing careers. And in fact, there were quite a few CPT graduates that attended and were offered positions with some of the companies mentioned earlier on this call. So definitely, follow Workforce Solutions Capital Area on social media. That's where we post a lot of our upcoming events. And then on our website, there's a calendar of events where you can check out upcoming career fairs and webinars and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and queue up Achel with ManPower. And Achel, if you want to turn your mic on and just let me know when you're ready. Oh, I see you.
I am. Thank
right.
you, Jessica, for this opportunity, and thank you, everyone on the call. So we can get started.
Yes, thank you.
My name is Achol May, and I'm the market manager here in the Austin area for ManPower Group as well. So it's a great opportunity to present to you all pathways to middle skilled jobs. You can go to the next slide. And we're going to go ahead and click on this video. It should start playing as well. Are you having? Well, there's always technical difficulties, no worries. If it was not from the PowerPoint, it will not play. I think I sent you 2 documents, but no worries, we can go ahead and continue on. This slide was just talking more so about the different jobs that we have, the different career points that our associates and consultants go through, and who we are as ManPower Group and how we have been resilient through many times. Where our company has actually been operating for 70+ years. So this is not the first pandemic or recession or anything of this major instance that we've been through, and we have helped, rebuild the workforce and partnered with businesses, organizations, and also our consultants and associates to do so. So a part of who we are as ManPower Group, we are a full range workforce solutions. We partner with our clients on many different facets, whether it's flexible staffing, project staffing on-site, and then also permanent hire. And so essentially when we're partnering with you and your consultants, your customers, please do know that we have placements from flexible staffing temp to hire, as well as we can place them at our clients via permanent placement or direct hire as well. Next slide. So a lot of what we will do next is just kind of understand what's happening in our markets. The economy has been recovering rapidly here during the pandemic, and we know that it's far from being over, as well as extended unemployment benefits are ending. So I think September is for us here, but many more states are also following suit, as well as workers have new expectations from their employers. So in seeing this, we're seeing that the participation rate as far as people coming into the workforce or remaining to stay at home and making those choices all depends on what's going on fully with the benefits, unemployment benefits, and what employers are doing to attract them as well. Next slide. So in this next slide, I definitely want to highlight some things. So job demand trends increased in July after a slight dip in June, with further growth forecasted in August that continues to have the demand up. So for example, 6.7% month over month, and then also year over year growth that was 17.4. Remote jobs seem to have been in kind of a rebound after a slight decline that happened in June, but that just definitely speaks to the demand for remote workers. And one of the greatest industries that is being affected is, of course, IT and office support, and then also business finance job. And that's just to align with some of the things that Jessica discussed earlier. We're seeing a great increase in those different industries. And we're targeting them as well. As you're speaking to your customers, definitely highlight those areas as a great area for jobs. Next slide. So in some of this reading here, we're highlighting, of course, the manufacturing industry. We saw a slight growth, and then there was an activity for about 4 months where it remained very slow growth for the manufacturing. And this was definitely highlighted with new orders slowed slightly, but the rate of growth was one of the most slowest marked in our record history. And that's looking at about 20 years or so. So some of this, of course, was due to the pandemic, due to material shortages and pressure on capacity that led to slowdowns in output growth, as well as deterioration in the vendor performances. However, it's also good to note that there was a growth as far as business need in manufacturing. And so we're highlighting the roles and the jobs and the number of positions on that sheet there. For example, machine operator, that number has significantly increased. Production supervisors, assemblers, there's a great need for electrical engineers as well as production worker. So although there has been some fluctuations due to the pandemic and vendor kind of shortages, there continues to be a great increase in need for manufacturing workers and people in the field as well. Next slide. So in this slide here, we're going to highlight just for the Austin market alone, average weekly wages for the entire industries and also by counties. So as far as in the United States as a whole, we're currently leading in the area here in the Austin area on that first marking there. It's at $1,508, and this statistics came from the fourth quarter of 2020. And in the second chart, we can look and see there's a deep dive into unemployment rate for specific to the United States as well as by county. So you can see those are differentiated by 2020, and then the darker blue is 2021. So for the United States, and then also just for the Austin area, since it itself, we are very competitive there as far as our unemployment rates. And then it breaks it down as well by county. You can see Travis County, which we're highlighting, and then also Williamson County there. And on that last chart, when looking at the employment and non-farm payrolls, and then also employment by major industry and sector, we see that manufacturing has sustained its numbers with only a 3.9% growth or change. And then whereas as expected, leisure and hospitality had the greatest change year over year, and they rebound by 20.9% from previously in 2020. And so what we're seeing here in my market is that we are able to, during 2020, we had to move the talent that was in that leisure and hospitality over to manufacturing. And we saw that there was a lot of soft skills that they had that were able to translate very well and market it to our manufacturing clients. And we saw great success. So this is also an avenue that you could talk to your customers about regarding different industries, and that their soft skills usually translate pretty well to another industry such as manufacturing. Next slide. And so the market rate trends that we're seeing, we anticipate the demand to continue to outpace the supply, and that's what we're seeing in the market. Also, a lot of companies are raising the minimum wage, of course, to gain advantage in the marketplace. So Amazon, for instance, Walmart, Target even, they all raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour. And then also here in our market, there is a higher competition with even manufacturing spaces and food service or hospitality. As recently, I saw Buc-ee's raise their pay rate to $17 an hour, and they have competitive benefits as well. So these conversations are continuing to be had in the spaces of how do we market candidates, how do we gain talent, how do we retain talent, as well as how do we attract talent in all of these different spaces. So jobs that pay at or closer to the current federal minimum wage are increasing to be difficult to fill. And I'm pretty sure you all have experienced that in all of the spaces in which you interact with customers and your clients per se. And so there are multiple reasons that these problems continue to happen. Of course, is the discrepancy between where openings are and what part of the economies were hit the hardest, i.e. hospitality, and then service jobs as well. But it is important to note that now the employer, the employee are now trying to work together to ensure that they're either attracted and also retained at a higher rate. And so that model there kind of just shows you where the wages are increasing year after year, as well as based on the educational attainment of the employees. So the first mark is showing you bachelor's degree, and then it goes to associates, some sort of certification, as well as no high school diploma or just a high school diploma. And it's really important to note that this number is fluctuating and accelerating in the last year or so, because these are the years that we've seen the largest growth in pay rates in respective to industries. Next slide. And so just to segue into what employers are doing, of course, we are all focused on reskilling and upskilling individuals to ensure that we equipped and address today's talent shortages. We are anticipating that demand of tomorrow's jobs as well while doing this. So the CPT program, the skills that we are trying to impart in the training that we're trying to impart in the local workforce, and partnering with our constituents, right? Partnering with employees are resulting in that. So ManPower has a unique program called MyPath as well. And MyPath is a way for us to upskill and reskill our current associates by ensuring that we are creating and helping our clients and also our talent to ensure that they will be a part of tomorrow's jobs and today as well. So some of the program offerings, of course, will lead into 6 weeks programs where they could accelerate their skills and level up in many different industries. So if they're going into IT, if it's more so manufacturing or administrative roles, and even entry-level accounting positions, they're able to do that, as well as for those who have not earned a GED yet, any kind of, or did not complete their high school diploma, they're able to earn a GED with us. And then we have also then partnered with the University of Phoenix, where our associates could continue their education by acquiring an associate's or also a bachelor's degree. And that is all offered and paid for by ManPower as they're employed with us. So some of these things, of course, is a way for us to differentiate ourselves here in the industry when it comes to staffing agencies, but a way for us to partner with our clients as well, because we understand as we invest in our associates, then we are also investing in the future of the entire workforce. Next slide, please. And then with MyPath, there is blended learning, there's global content. They're able to access all of this services online via PowerU, which is another service that we have that has over 6,000 courses available. So if they're wanting to brush up on their desk, you know, some skills for business skills or IT skills, or if they have some sort of post-training or certification, they could kind of log in and take some of those practice courses to prepare them for that. And this is offered to anybody who registers with ManPower at manpower.com. Once they create a profile, they will have access to PowerU essentially. Next slide, please. All right, so the latter part of MyPath as well is the rewards and the recognition, which I always want to highlight. It's very important that we recognize our associates as they continue to excel. We want to ensure that we're retaining them as a client, as an associate, and we're helping them grow into the career path which they desire. So MyPath Medals is a way for our clients, when we place our associates with clients, they are recognized and given accolades for their hard work. And that way they continue to excel, and we could determine if there's areas within ManPower in which they could continue to develop, or when they get converted to full-time employee, if the client also has opportunities for growth and promotions with them. We have a referral bonus program for all of our associates. And then we always want to hear back from our associates and clients alike through the Net Promoter System. And that allows us to hear from our associates what's successful, what's going good, and what areas do we have opportunities to improve on. And that's the same, of course, with our clients as well. Next slide, please. And so here is the great part for the community partners who you're helping your customers with seeking opportunities right now. In the Austin markets, we have the following opportunities for temp to hire. As you can see, I tried to highlight most of the middle skilled opportunities as well as entry-level positions. There you'll see maintenance technicians, production operator roles, shipping and receiving, and then there's a manufacturing technician, which is a really hot job right now, and I believe everyone probably has customers who are looking for that. We've partnered with our clients to definitely increase pay rates here in the area. The competition is very high for talent, and they're seeing that they have to increase the wages and ensure that there's living wages to compete for that talent. So I want to highlight the manufacturing technician. We were able to do a market analysis, the deep market analysis for the clients, and they went from the $18 an hour to about $23 an hour for that job. The remainder of the positions seem to all be entry level. Of course, we've also discussed transferable skills. So if you do have associates that, or customers that came from a background outside of manufacturing or production, and they are interested, please let them be encouraged to still apply, because we always highlight their transferable skills. And we have seen quite a success, and we've done a model and also a pilot program with one of our manufacturing partners. And they saw that people who come from hospitality or food service industries are very successful in manufacturing as well. And then from time to time, we do have various opportunities for direct hire. And here I just highlighted some senior positions. However, they are also some mid-level skills or mid-level positions that we have currently that we will market our associates to. So even if a candidate does not want to do the temp to hire manufacturing technician and they're only interested in the direct hire, then we could market that particular candidate to that client for direct hire. So don't be discouraged if there is a candidate, or I should call it a customer, that you all have that's only seeking a direct hire position. ManPower could still assist them by key skilling them to our clients directly. Next slide, please. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open for discussion. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, Jessica. Thank you so much for your time today and for the opportunity. I'll also drop my contact information on the chat, as well as I believe Jessica will be sending all of this information to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. What a fantastic presentation and labor market data. I really appreciated that. Well put together. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, when working with your students and customers, opportunities like with ManPower are great resources and contacts to have in your Rolex or your phone, so you can help connect your customers to these opportunities. We do work with a lot of staffing agencies and employers directly when working with our customers, and I think it helps us understand just the boom here in Austin, all the opportunities. And so we're always looking at ways to promote these to our customers at Workforce Solutions, ACC, Skillpoint Alliance. So definitely, I'll send this PowerPoint deck out, and feel free to stay in touch with ManPower if y'all have any questions or would like to refer a client to their opportunities. So thank you again for the presentation. We have just 4 minutes left, so I'm just going to go through a couple more slides that we have. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat as I go along, and we'll end at 10:30. So I know at the start of this presentation, we shared some targeted occupation career profiles that we have available for your customers exploring careers. This summer, we also created 100+ career profiles for other occupations that may not be found on our targeted occupations list. This was a certified production technician profile, but also known by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It would be inspectors, samplers, weighers, and sorters. And this kind of breaks down what a CPT candidate would be doing on the job. So it's going to go through, you're going to find the annual wages, hourly wages, expected education at entry level, the demand for CPTs, and then job duties, personality type required for the job. And then we also have these neat QR codes where if the candidate or customer scans the QR code, it has about a 2-minute video that goes over what that occupation does. On the back side of these career profiles, you're going to find some resources of how to get started in the career pathway. I think, in fact, we promoted both the CPT program at ACC and the CPT program at Skillpoint Alliance. So all the student needs to do is scan that QR code, and it will take them directly to the ACC and Skillpoint Alliance website. And then our neat little infographic down here at the bottom talks and shares information about related jobs for certified production technicians. So it kind of breaks down where someone could probably get started, maybe as a production worker, and then some other occupations that are related, like manufacturing machine operator, electrical and electronics technician, industrial engineering technician, etc. And we do have other profiles in manufacturing that are found on our website. So Leslie or Shannon, if y'all can go ahead and link that hyperlink where our audience members can look at these career profiles. That would be super awesome. And feel free to print them out and share them around your office or students that you're working with to help them learn about other career pathways here in Austin. We also have some more career resources. So we developed a website called climbtheladderctx.com. We created that early last year, and that actually has a lot of the resources we share today, even upcoming events. So our next Pathways to Middle Skilled Jobs training will be in October, and you can find the registration link for that. And then you can also find some videos that we've done with professionals in high demand industries. And then lastly, I'll say that we have our Career and Education Outreach Specialist program. So if you would like for a presenter to come out and speak to your students or your job seekers directly, we can have Shannon Scriven or Stephanie Calderon come out, give a presentation. It can be virtual or in person, and they can talk about different middle skill jobs, training opportunities, or they can even focus on an occupation. You know, I think a couple of years ago, we did the dental hygienist occupation, and we shared that with students at a Travis County School District. So if you would like a presentation, you can also email us directly at careerladder@wfscapitalarea.com, and we'd be happy to schedule that. One more save the date item for you all. So our next Workforce Wednesday webinar will be on October 13th. And we'll have employers talking about open positions. So definitely save the date. I will send the registration link out with this PowerPoint deck. But otherwise, thank you all for joining us today. Feel free, as I mentioned earlier, follow us on social media. That's where you're going to find all these upcoming training dates with Skillpoint Alliance, ACC, and we work with a lot of other partners. So feel free to have your customers follow us as well. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
It was awesome.
everyone. Great presentations, Ruben and Weston. Thank you.
Thank you.